report of the Ad hoc committee to investigate the crisis surrounding the inauguration of 9th Bauchi State House of Assembly and the circumstances that led to the emergence of 2 presiding officers and approve the recommendations therein, HR 110729 as laid 24/7/2019. I so move.
State, I rise to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Sarki Adar as so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. House resolved to committee of the whole. Respected colleagues, the report to be considered is the report of the Ad hoc committee to investigate the crisis surrounding the inauguration of the 9th Bauchi State House Assembly and the circumstances that led to the emergence of 2 presiding officers. I now invite Honorable Musa Adar to give the House synopsis of the report.
The committee that led the report today, known as Ad hoc Committee to investigate the crisis that followed after the inauguration of the 9th Bauchi State House Assembly, where parallel speakers emerged. The committee, under my chairmanship, was composed of 12 members. I don't have to mention the names. Immediately after that, we went to Bauchi. We sat down for 3 days. We held public hearing. We received 31 memorandum from individuals and groups, and 23 of those who submitted memorandum appeared before us and made further testimonies. 8 absented. The names of those who appeared before us are listed in page 4 and 5. Their memorandum to us. First, members of the Bauchi State House Assembly divided into 2, group of 18 and group of 13. The group of 18 are the members who came after the 13 members have conducted inauguration at 7 o'clock earlier, 2 hours earlier or 3 hours earlier than the scheduled time of 10 o'clock. Then the 18 members are those who came 3 minutes to 8 o'clock. At the time, the earlier group have already purportedly conducted their inauguration and the speaker and the speaker emerged. And there some fracas ensued, and we relied on the video provided to us by various sources. The sources including media organizations, among them credible ones, the FRCN, the channels, and other independent persons. And all the videos showed time and date at which it was recorded. What led to the crisis there was because earlier on proclamation was issued by the current governor that the House should be inaugurated on 17th of June 2019. Later, another proclamation was issued that proclamation is coming on, inauguration is coming on 20th June 2019 instead of the earlier one. The clerk of the House was removed from his position of the clerk of the House 2 days before inauguration. So also the person who was deputizing him was equally removed. They were assigned to other government ministries and agencies. A director of legal serving with the Bauchi State Assembly was appointed to serve as acting clerk of the Bauchi State Assembly. During our investigation, we invited the chairman of Bauchi State Assembly Service Commission. He appeared before us. He gave us the rules of engagement of how a clerk is appointed. That is, he is to be recommended by the Bauchi State Assembly, and to be ratified by the members of the State Assembly. And clerk shall not be removed until if he does not enjoy the support of the members of the Assembly. All those were not duly followed. The new clerk appointed is on grade level 16, substantive grade level 16, and he has served earlier in a capacity on secondment from the Ministry of Justice. Later, he transferred his services from the Ministry of Justice to Bauchi State House of Assembly Service Commission. He is a bona fide and legitimate member or staff of the Bauchi State Assembly Service Commission. Well, what we found difficult to accept is the way he was appointed within a period of those 2 days. Not only that, there's no parliament in place to ratify his appointment. But we reminded of ourselves of the provisions of the Constitution. What obtains even at federal here. The president can appoint anybody in a certain capacity subject to ratification or confirmation by the Senate. It has happened previously in other appointments, CVN governor, IGP, EFCC chairman, and many others. For that reason, and the committee I chaired, we have 3 lawyers in our midst. Every issue that comes up, I rely, and the committee rely on them to give us legal interpretation of the implication of any allegation before us by the members of the public who appeared to testify or to submit a memo, especially that the issue of disappointment of the acting clerk. The 3 lawyers are Honorable Falata, Honorable Biancalu, and Honorable Salami, I think Honorable Olubimi Salami. All of them are lawyers and relied heavily on them to guide us just before we proceed on any other issue that came before us. During the course of our investigation, we realized the 2 gladiators in both policies as of today, the former governor, M.A. Abubakar, and the current governor, each is working hard to have control of the Bauchi State House Assembly for political reasons. We tried to see if there was any way we could come up with a win-win situation, with a political situation. Members of the committee insisted our mandate did not give us such powers. Ours is only to investigate. And we restricted ourselves only to investigation of what led to the crisis to happen. So we did not make any attempt to reconcile the 2 factions, even though they appeared before us. It was after we left Bauchi when we came here and started conferring with the speaker, deputy speaker, and others, and they were saying you could have gone ahead to see if you could reconcile them. The whole purpose is to bring peace to Bauchi. Whatever it is, today our report is here, our findings are here. All our findings are based on submissions by the respected people, personalities, and groups that appeared before us. Ours was only we collected and we analyzed the data and we came up with conclusions which form part of our recommendations. And considering other factors, you may find in one of our recommendations. Sorry, sir, let me. When we look at the situation, the tense situation in Bauchi, after we sat for 3 days, we went to the Bauchi State Assembly chamber, we entered there, we saw where the incident took place, and that very day, the Commissioner of Police appeared before us, and he told us he deployed 400 police personnel to secure the assembly complex and the general Bauchi environs. Because 3 days before inauguration, they started having feelers there may be outbreak of law and order. And bearing the fact that there's a notorious group existing in Bauchi known as Sarasuka, and they had fears that those hoodlums can cash in on the situation that was about to happen to foment trouble in the state For that reason, he deployed 400 police personnel to make sure peace is guaranteed and everybody moves to his destination without hindrance. And he equally confirmed from the report of his DC operations. The DC operation also appeared before us. He confirmed the timing. They were there 6 a.m. The group of 13 came to the assembly before 7 o'clock, and the business of the day of the house began at around 7 o'clock, and it was concluded 7:48. 7:48. Honorable Plata, is it 7:48 or 7:58? Honorable Plata, is it 7:48 or 7:58? Yes. No, the conclusion of everything. Is it 7:48 they concluded? 7:32? 7:32. Okay, 7:32. So in any case, honorable colleagues, our findings are this. One, we recommended to condemn the incidents that led to purported elections of 2 speakers. Because after the first group elected the speaker and deputy speaker by 13 of them and sworn in by the clerk and the speaker sworn in other members, before they left there, the 18 members came in. And when they realized that has happened, they moved out. They went to where the statue of the mayor is situated outside Bauchi State House Assembly complex entrance. They conducted their own election there under that statue of the mayor, and the speaker emerged and deputy speaker, and they swore in the remaining 16 members. So for that, we recommended all their action should be condemned, both sides. Then we suggested that we should urge the executive governor of Bauchi State, in the interest of well-being of the people of Bauchi State, to withdraw the letters of proclamation of 17 June 2019 and 20 June 2019 and reissue a new proclamation letter for holding of the first session of the 9th Bauchi State House Assembly, which will be publicized in national dailies and broadcast media with specific date, time, and venue for the inauguration. Why we say this is because when the new clerk, issued invitee to the members-elect, he did not. One of the invitees did not specify time, so they were saying members should come on a date, but there was no time. So that's why now we said it should be specified. This is the time, this is the venue, and this is the date. Then, 3, notify Bauchi State government that failure to comply with prayer 2 above within a period of 1 month, the House of Representatives shall invoke the provision of Section 11 of the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria as amended. Why we recommended 1 month? Bearing in mind that our last prayer recommended concurrence to the Senate. And we know 1 week or 2 weeks may not be possible to obtain concurrence from the Senate back to us before it can be effected. So that's why we give 1 month. We believe within 1 month it can go to the Senate, it can get concurrence or otherwise, and it can return to us, so that there's no vacuum. And finally, to submit this resolution to the Senate for concurrence.
Mr. Speaker, I come under 9 Rule 5. With your kind permission, can I read? Mr. Speaker, the Order 9 is on issue pertaining to rules of debate. Order 9, Rule 5 says, reference shall not be made to any matter on which a judicial decision is pending in such a way as might, in Speaker's opinion, prejudice the interests of the parties thereto. Mr. Speaker, Sokoto man, I'm protected by Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as we know, there are 2 parties to this matter in Bauchi State, and the 2 parties have gone to court, and the case is still pending in court. I'm not saying that we cannot do this, but it would be nice that we exercise patience and allow the court to finish their proceeding. My brother has done a fantastic job with his committee members, and I have no doubt about that. And he has even also alluded to the fact that they will wait for the concurrence of the Senate So which in effect, even if we pass a resolution here and Senate has not done theirs, it will still be holding. What I would advise is that while we're waiting, let us wait for the outcome of the court to see where it will go, whether it will further left or right or not even any of them. I so submit.
It is not to go and infringe on another person's right. There are basic things that are provided for in the Constitution. And the Constitution says the governor shall give a proclamation. From what he said, he gave a different date, denying other people access to the assembly. And I think fundamentally there is a breach of the constitutional provision. Two, if what he said is correct, this house have not been served. And even if we are served with the court process or procedure, that cannot take away our own constitutional powers to do our duty. Thank you for doing your job, but I want to beg that we proceed to consider the report.
That will not only make the laws, we make sure that the laws are obeyed. To see whether the merits and demerits of the actions. And these parties in Bauchi State have approached the courts. I would think that it will be out of place for the parliament to go on a frolic. It is not prudent. As a matter of fact, the one that has been done in Adar State has also been suspended by the courts. Let us not go for a repeat performance. Let us allow these people to have these matters to be tested in court. Yes, the courts have set it aside. Yes. Yes. No, it has been a judicial promise. I'll get you the records.
No, it has not reached yet.
No. Well, if he has not gotten to you.
House plan to report progress. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Ad hoc Committee to investigate the crisis surrounding the integration of 9 Bauchi House Assembly and the circumstances that led to the emergence of 2 presiding officers and approved recommendation 1 to 4. Leader, Giwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. I rise to move that the House do adopt the report agreed to in the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
The Speaker has asked me to second. I hereby, not with my own second, against my will, second this motion moved by.
That's the beauty of democracy, and thank you for seconding the. Those in favor of the motion move as moved by the Leader of the House and seconded by the majority say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.